Again, you won't get it, but I'm always curious what you hear.
If I won't get it, then I'm going to go with AC/DC.
No. This is a band called Iron Maiden. They're up for induction finally into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
It's one of his better guesses, though. Because at least it was within the ballpark.
So I feel like we're zeroing in kind of with him. One of my favorite bands of all time. It is long, long, long overdue that they should be nominated for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. We were talking yesterday about first shows we went to, and my first show, by edict, growing up in Illinois, you're required to see Cheap Trick. But the first show I went to where it was me, I was the oldest of four, so I didn't have older siblings taking me to shows. I was reliant on friends' older siblings. And this Number of the Beast tour, I think the tour was called World Vengeance in 1982. So I'm 11, right? I go with my buddy Chris and his older sister to see Iron Maiden open for Judas Priest. And I was already into both bands, but it was a defining moment for me as a young metalhead. And so to see Iron Maiden finally get nominated for induction into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame was very exciting, very gratifying. So that's Iron Maiden. This, of course, is Cyndi Lauper, who is also up for nomination into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame. And I was taking a peek at the fan vote this morning, and Iron Maiden are not only lagging behind Cyndi Lauper for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Why are you saying it like that?
Iron Maiden. Listen, I like to have fun too. I'm Captain Fun, right? It ain't just the girls. Iron Maiden are not only behind Cyndi
you're
Lauper.
Captain Fun, and it's the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame.
Yeah. Iron Maiden are not only behind Cyndi Lauper in the fan vote, they're also behind George Michael in the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame fan vote. Iron Maiden are currently 6th, and only 5 of them will get on the final ballot, of course. Soundgarden also ahead of Iron Maiden, too. But boy, I gotta tell you, I've got to tell you. Granted, it's the fan vote. I happen to think Iron Maiden is a shoo-in already. I think that Iron Maiden will get in. But they are trailing Cyndi Lauper, George Michael, Soundgarden, Willie Nelson, and Warren Zevon. Now, I would very much like Warren Zevon to get into the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame, too, but I think he's a dark horse. But I always, once they announce the pool of nominees, I'm always interested to see what happens with that fan vote. Because I think, didn't Whitney Houston, wasn't she like at the very top of the fan vote for a while?
Yes.
So, right. So I think it has more to do with like these fan bases are told to get out there and vote, whatever.
Yeah, I think there's some campaigning that's happening.
There's a lot of campaigning. This is the second time that Iron Maiden have been nominated. They did not make the list of inductees in 2021. So again, I think once a band of that magnitude is nominated and doesn't get in, I always feel like the next time they go, all right, now we got to put this in. But to see Iron Maiden, all right, enough of that. To see Iron Maiden trail Cyndi Lauper in the fan vote for the Rock and Roll Hall of Fame makes me pucker a little bit. But listen, man, it's very personal music. You all right?
No. I just want to stop coughing, dude.
Are you going to put a binder clip on your
esophagus?
Your esophagus?
I probably should at this point.
Uh-huh.
I've been coughing for 2 weeks. I'm tired of it. Did I tell the story about the urgent care doctor?
Did
I tell that story on air?
I don't know if you did.
I had COVID two and a half weeks ago, almost 3 weeks ago now. And I came home, and I was obviously sick all last week. And then it started to get like that nasty mucus out of my, coughing it up and sneezing it out and blowing my nose was green and nasty, okay? So on Saturday, I go to the urgent care, and I'm like, hey, here's what's going on. I had COVID. Something else is happening. It's an infection or something. And the urgent care doctor came in. He didn't look in my throat. He didn't look at my body in any type of diagnostic way.
He did no invasive procedures.
Nothing at all.
Not even
all those squats.
Dude.
Not even a tongue depressor.
Nothing. He didn't look in my mouth, my ears, my nose, nothing.
He didn't even get your tongue depressed.
Didn't depress my tongue. He came and he sat down away from me and he goes, yeah, I know you had COVID last week and sometimes COVID can turn into pneumonia. And with pneumonia, you'll start coughing things up like this. I was like, oh, so we're going to do an x-ray? And he goes, no, I'll just give you the antibiotic. I was like, what? Excuse me? And he was like, yeah, I mean, regardless of what the x-ray says, I'm going to give you the same treatment anyway. So I'll just write you a prescription for antibiotics. And
That's
you can
him
take it with
saving you money.
Mucinex. I get it. No.
And these guys
not in an urgent care. It's the same price no matter what.
They don't charge you for x-rays?
I don't think so. You have to pay. When you don't have insurance, you pay up front. They're like, hey, this is how much it costs. You can't come in until you pay it.
Well, you probably pay extra for x-rays, right?
I don't think so. They take your payment before you enter
Isn't that
the facility.
what the X in x-ray is? Extra rays?
Yes, extra rays.
No, but the question is, what I think is these doctors are probably seeing so many people who go, I had COVID, now I have this, that they know, here's the antibiotic. Here's what it is.
Right,
Why
but the
waste time?
antibiotic isn't helping the cough.
Don't you have you taken the whole run of it?
I think I have 2 days left.
I feel like these antibiotics, you have to do the whole run and then all at once. I don't know why I think that. It seems like anytime I've been on antibiotics, I'm in the same boat. I go, this is doing nothing. And then you finish the whole run, like they go 7 or 8 days or whatever, and then you're like,
Back to
feels
normal.
it feels like it all kicks in at once.
Yeah. So, yeah, he was just like, yeah, no, it doesn't really matter what it is. I'm going to give you this antibiotic no matter what. And then he was like, there's also long COVID, so it might just not go away. So it was a very...
Have you had any hair loss?
I have not.
That is one of the long COVID symptoms.
But it was
Have
just...
you had shortness of breath?
No, because I didn't have those symptoms
Sleep
with...
apnea.
No problem.
That's the point. People who have long COVID, these aren't things that they had at the time. Have you had any heart palpitations?
Not that I know of.
Well, you'd know.
Yeah, then no.
Have you had any joint pain?
I mean, not anything out of the ordinary.
Have you had any weight gain in the post-infectious period?
Ooh, yeah, that donk.
See,
That's
there
what
you
it
go.
is. It's not
That's
actually...
That's how we know you got that long COVID.
Got that COVID booty.
She got that thick COVID.
It's not long, it's thick.
But yeah, just how
Have you been
lackadaisical.
fatigued?
I'm always fatigued. I've never not been fatigued in my whole life.
Any difficulty breathing? You're always fatigued?
I'm always tired.
Really?
Yeah,
Maybe you need to take more hoe baths.
maybe. But yeah, I just the sheer lack of attention. Not even attention. He was just like, "This is what I'm giving you." Like it.
Yeah, but
flat
again,
out.
I wouldn't. I would take that as he sees this a lot.
Yeah.
People
Well,
going,
yeah.
"Hey, I had," but you took it as him not doing his diligence.
not doing his diligence, just kind of being like, kind of what you said. It's like, I've seen it a lot. It's probably this. And then it was like, if it doesn't get better, go see your primary care.
But isn't urgent care a sausage factory? Aren't they just churning people through?
I mean, yeah.
Well,
Kyle Kinane has a very funny bit about going to urgent care where he is like, it is neither of those things. It just makes me laugh.
yeah, I've never been, but I mean, I hear, people go, but it doesn't sound like something where they're like,
What a
all right, let me do a
sentence.
battery of tests, and then
No.
we'll, let's keep you overnight for observation. I mean, that's why people go. They're like, I don't have insurance, I'm sick.
It's almost always like, I can't get into my primary care physician, so I need antibiotics now, or whatever it might be. But yeah, that was, that's why the cough isn't going away, because it might or might not be pneumonia, but he's going to treat it as if it was.
I see.
And if it isn't, then it might be long COVID.
It could very well be long COVID.
It just made me laugh. It was just a kind of a funny where I left it. I was like, I mean, I guess I'll take what you give me, Doc,
Hey, George.
Yes, sir.
What's up?
Mary,
What?
what a beautiful woman you are.
Thank you.
And you got a sexy cough, too.
Oh, thanks.
I have a suggestion for you. Several years ago, I had a cough like that, too. And when I went to the doctor, he suggested that I get some over-the-counter allergy medicine because he said that it dries up all the stuff in your lungs. Sounds good there.
Jesus, this guy.
I don't know if you want to take advice from this guy.
Mary's cough. All right, so the point is what, George?
Try that for like a couple days. It should clear that up.
Yeah.
Okay, maybe. I mean, I'm
Try
taking the Mucinex. He told me to take this Mucinex, and I've been taking that. So I'm just going to go through for the next week until it's all gone. And then
That's why
see what
people are
happens.
horny for that
Yeah,
Mucinex
well-
monster.
Yeah.
Well, I mean, like I said, every time I start getting a cough like that, I go to over-the-counter allergy medicine, and within 2 or 3 days, it's cleared.
I will see.
Just
Maybe I'll
take
try
like
that
one
next.
every 4 or 5 hours.
I just have discipline and tell your body to stop coughing.
Yeah,
Hey,
you're right.
stop doing that.
Knock it off.
Is there any way
That's
in
right.
which you could just give yourself your own x-rays?
I could try.
Yeah.
I mean, I have items at home that might become an X-ray machine. I've got like a
Look into it.
nonstick cooking mat, like a chopping
Yes.
mat.
Uh-huh.
That's clear. I could use that as the portal. I have a tripod.
Yeah, there was
And-
a dude a couple years ago I remember watching on YouTube. He goes, hospital charged me $69,000 for x-rays, so I built my own machine. What could go wrong there?
I have a cat laser
Ironically, the
pointer.
cost of the DIY machine, $70,000.
Good.
Hey, Margaret, hello.
Hi.
Hi, what's up?
So I thought I heard you right that you said you've never been to an urgent care.
Yes,
he did
correct.
have that privileged statement.
Yes.
So you or your kids have never been like sick on a Sunday and you just had to go be
It's the Lord's
seen
Day.
that
You
day?
can't be sick on Sunday.
I mean, we went to, a few years ago when my little one was sick, we went on a Sunday, but it was to Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital. Hello?
Oh, I lost you. Sorry.
Oh no! When my 7-year-old was sick a few years ago, the Cleveland Clinic Children's Hospital had Sunday hours. We just took her in, and somebody saw her.
Okay, but like you yourself never like just felt so crappy on a weekend and you just had to go get like.
Is
strep
this
throat?
Margaret? Where's the incredulity? Like, is it? I'm sure I'm not alone in this. I mean,
I don't know. You might be.
probably not. I'm not alone in very many things, much to my chagrin. But listen. No, I never have. I never have. And again, it's not
Yes, it is.
privileged. I mean, I most of my adult life I've been poor. So it's like I just have never been to an urgent care. No,
I mean, also by kind of what she's saying is that, like, say you start developing a sore throat on Monday, and you're like, all right, well, we'll see what happens. Then by Wednesday, you're like, dude, I can't even talk. And your primary care physician has always just been able to get you in that day.
Well, I mean, yeah, I guess. I mean, I call my guy and he goes, all right, well, come on in. And I guess, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, even when I was on my dad's insurance, there'd be plenty of times where they're like, yeah, we can't see you for 3 weeks. You're like, oh, well, that doesn't help me
Right.
now. And then you have to go
Right.
to an urgent care.
I've only gone to
Understood.
an urgent care for COVID tests, so I'm kind of in Alan's camp here. Because also, when I get sick, I don't go to a doctor.
Neither does Brian. It
Like,
drives
I-
me absolutely insane.
No,
only
I don't
go-
either because I'm like, what am I going to, I'm going to sit in a room
Get
with other sick people.
medication
For what, though?
to clear your sickness.
Right, but if you kind of, I wait to see, like, what form is this going to take, right? Everybody kind of knows how their sicknesses develop, I think, and I think I have a pretty good sense of what that is. So the only times that I have gone and seen somebody is after it's 3, 4, 5 days, and I'm like, okay, I need to know if this is something more than I think that it is. But the people who go like day one, it's like they're just going to give you something that may or may not work, or they're going to go to Walgreens and get yourself some NyQuil or whatever. So
Unless
I don't-
it's something like if I get an ear infection, I'll go to a doctor because I know I need antibiotics for that.
This is why CVS and
that's-
Walgreens are
yeah.
printing money by having essentially an urgent care in the pharmacy.
Now I do go to those.
A
Well,
minute
that's-
clinic is an urgent care.
Okay, well then I
That's
go to
the same
those,
thing.
yeah.
Right.
Yeah,
All right, well I go to those because it's close and you can just walk right in.
right. That's the exact same thing.
And a lot of people went to those for their COVID tests.
Yeah.
But it's also to catch
We had
things
an urgent
before-
care out at Oak Tree that I didn't realize until Erica said she went there a couple
Yeah.
times.
I
But-
went there a couple times.
The point is also to catch it before you're on day 5 and now it's a problem. Like you start feeling crappy day 1, right? Day 2 or 3 where you're like, all right, I'm obviously not kicking this. Let's do something to either prevent it from getting worse or start to heal it. Because Brian's the same way. He'll be coughing stuff up for 2 weeks and then he'll be like, oh, I never thought of it. I'm like, dude, go to the friggin' doctor. It's not that hard. That's why they exist. And
Yeah,
he
but-
has health insurance.
I guess. I mean, everybody's got their own mechanism for doing it. Listen, I did not, growing up in my family, we were never sick. I don't know how my mom did it. We were never sick. So, as an adult, I kind of operate in a similar way in that I'm not sick that often. So when I am, I go, okay, well, I'm not going to freak out about it. Because frankly,
it's not freaking out about it. It's just.
Well, I'm not going to go on day one is my point. I'm
Right.
not going to make an appointment for the doctor. I go, I got a scratchy throat. Can you tell me what it is? Because there's people in really bad shape that should be ahead of me and being seen. And, so I don't know. I think everybody's got their own kind of internal clock for what they think they should do.
Like Brian's daughter was up coughing all night the other night. And then she did it again when she was at home with her mom. And her mom just had a baby. So they have like a 2-month-old. And so she took her into urgent care with just a cough. No fever, no soreness in the throat, no nothing. And it turned out she had strep throat. So it was
Strep's going around.
It was the very beginning of it. She didn't have the full-blown sore throat and the white spots and all the fever that goes along with strep. But you catch it early, and then you can start medicating, and then none of the other kids get sick. I guess I'm just surprised that you've never been in that kind of a situation with like your kids where you're like, okay, we got to take them out of school today.
Well, you have to remember my older kids did not grow up with me either.
Oh, that's
They
true.
didn't grow up living with me. They grew up with their mom. So, I mean, there's probably a lot of things I'm going to be doing with our daughter now that I'm doing for the first time, even though I have 2 college-age kids. But, yeah, I don't know. Everybody's got their own way of doing it. But the important point is you can make your own x-ray machine at home, and I encourage you to. You can learn anything on YouTube these days.
Right.
You can learn anything on YouTube. Sure, it'll say, do not try this at home. Fine, try it in the garage.
Try it at work.
At work. We got people spitting in the sink, doing whatever. There's nothing that says we can't build our own x-ray machine here. I don't even know what you need for that.
I didn't
Get
sign
on
anything.
YouTube. We'll figure it out.
Yep. Let me take a break here. If you want $1,000, I can hook you up with that 3:30. Next chance to go fund yourself. So listen for that keyword. If you want to go see our advanced screening of Ant-Man and the Wasp: Quantumania, we're doing it a couple of nights prior to it being in theaters everywhere. So that's going to be 1 week from tonight out in Rocky River. If you want to take a pal, I'll have a couple of passes for you here after the break.
This is the Alan Cox Show. Everywhere on our free iHeartRadio app or whatever smart device you have. Just tell it to play the Alan Cox Show on iHeartRadio.